All spheres of our life require true and authentic leaders. That could be in our families, in our communities, but also in different organizations. Once you assume the role of leadership, you've got the power to impact and influence others. You've got the power to make a difference to the lives of other people. But the intentions and approach that you have as a leader is very, very important. This is so important for a country like South Africa, where most communities are poverty stricken, and you want leaders who will take people not only from a socio-economic point of view, but also from a psychosocial point of view, and give people something to wake up to, hope, inspiration, ability to dream. So, as a leader, the question that I have for you is, are you going to make a difference in the lives of the people that you have got a responsibility and also a privilege to lead? Now, the tips that I would like to share apply in all of these spheres. It does not necessarily have to be in a corporate setting, in your family, in the communities. If you observe what great and effective leaders do, you will be able to make a difference to the lives of people that you've got a privilege to lead. Let's get into the first one. True and effective leaders lead from a point of psychological safety. What is psychological safety? It simply means that as a leader, the people that you have a steward over are able to be vulnerable. They are able to open up to you without fear of reprisals. They can make mistakes, and they can also learn from those mistakes because you are there to guide them. But as a leader, you are not able to do that if you do not understand your weaknesses as well as your strengths. If you have not worked on yourself, you are going to lead from a position of fear, a position of intimidation, and you'll constantly feel small when people make suggestions about certain things that you don't know. So as a leader, you work on yourself first so that you can be able to lead from a position of psychological safety. Think about it this way. Remember those families where if a father pulls his car into the garage or they open the door, the children scatter into their rooms because they are afraid of their father. Or leaders in organizations who say, my door is open, you can come to me at any time. But when you get into their office, their tone, their facial expression says something about them, and you feel that I am not safe in this space to be able to express my view. So that type of leadership does not augur with psychological safety of the people that you're supposed to lead. You should be able to lead from a position of psychological safety. The second point, true and effective leaders build upon what is existing. In the different roles that I have had the opportunity to lead, I've always walked into those positions with a view that says, learn what is working at this current juncture. Learn what is it that you can improve upon. Because true leadership is not about getting in and breaking that which is not broken. It's not about fixing that which does not need fixing. If you are a true leader, you don't come in and throw the child with the bathwater. But sometimes, especially in political spheres, you see leaders getting into positions and then they start competing with their predecessors, especially if they come from a different political organization. And even that which was not working is now being thrown out. Even the people in that organization that are doing well are being taken out, and then the new people come in. So in whatever leadership position that I'll do, I'll say, don't reinvent the wheel. Look at what is working, build upon it. If you've got totally brilliant new ideas and you want to change the situation, there will always be ample opportunity for you to do that. True leaders work and build upon what is existing and what is working. They don't just throw things out with the bathwater. Point number three, they hire the best. And this is the most important thing because they understand that as an individual, you cannot know everything. You cannot be a master of everything. There are people who are skilled in some areas, and you might be skilled in some areas that they are not, and they might be skilled in some areas where you are not. Now, as a leader, the role that you can only play is to support and guide people towards a vision, not to compete with them. So that is why true and effective leaders, they will always hire people that are going to outshine them, if you like. But they only create the right environment for these people to flourish because they know that they get good and best results through these people. It's not about hiring your family, about hiring your friends. It's about hiring people that are competent to be able to do the job. And as a leader, you should be able to understand that it takes you to think outside the box and hire people that are going to take the organization to the next level. Point number four, they groom their successors. One of the great leaders, may his soul rest in peace, as far as I'm concerned, is Miles Monroe. Miles Monroe never finished his preaching or interviews, or most of the interviews, I must maybe put it that way, without talking about succession. He understood that the leaders play an important role of, if you like, hiring themselves out of the job and looking as to what is it that they can do in future so that they vacate the position that they are at, and then they groom other people who will come and take over. Because as leaders, we are not indispensable. And if most leaders can understand that we are not indispensable, we should be able to groom leaders. The mark of leadership is not about how many followers you have, but how many people can take over from you so that the organization can proceed. In most cases, you might find that even you being in that role, you are not the first person who started the company. You might not even be the first person who was in that role, but you happen to find in that role no matter what the reason. So what I'm trying to say is that time will come where you are not supposed to be in that role for whatever reason. So if you care for the organization that you work for, you groom other people who are going to take over so that beyond your time, the organization can still flourish, the organization can still work, and it can continue to make the impact that it needs to do in the society. But if you think that everything revolves around you, then we've got a serious problem in this regard. Talking of Miles Monroe, unfortunately, he went to be with the Lord. But if everything was only crafted around him and his wife, the children could have suffered. So what we have as Monroe Global could not be existing as we speak today. So as a leader, go back, look at people who are having the right leadership qualities, who are aligned with the vision of the organization, and give them the opportunity that is going to assist them to grow into leadership roles into the future so that the organization can exist beyond you. Point number 5, great and effective leaders engage in continuous learning. They know which areas, they put themselves out there, they get to a point where they understand their gaps. They invite feedback from others, but not only inviting feedback, they also act upon the feedback that is given to them. They go for mentoring, they go for coaching. The idea is all about understanding that knowledge evolves, certain skills change, There's a new way of doing things. We now currently have a different leadership ethos from the scientific management approach towards leadership. If you are still stuck in the scientific management of the scientific management approach, then it means that you are stuck in the industrial area. But as a leader who learns, there are many evolutions of leadership that has happened, and true and effective leaders have made sure that they put themselves out there so that they can learn and understand the whole concept of leadership and evolve with the times. They learn that there are different generations that are coming who are bringing different ideas, and as a result they adjust so that they can be able to lead these different types of cohorts of employees in organizations, different employees that are contributing to different communities, but also leaders in the families who are able to understand the different dynamics that youth bring into the families. And I know I'm trying to bring all of these spheres together into this conversation, but all these principles work within that type of they work in all of these spheres. So great leaders engage in continuous development. They challenge themselves so that they can become better. They sharpen the saw, as Stephen Covey like to say. So all of these five factors, leading from a point of psychological safety, building upon what is existing, hiring people that are best than them, grooming success for the future, and engage in continuous learning, are things that will assist any organization you work at, any community level, even within your family, to be able to create the better atmosphere and environment for people to flourish so that you can influence them. So, in a nutshell, the bonus point is that true leaders understand their purpose on this earth, and the purpose is bigger than them. And I'll give you a quote again by Marco Saravenjo, who says, mediocre leaders are driven by self-interest, money, power, and ego. Great leaders are driven by purpose. My friend, it's all about finding your purpose so that you can impact other people and make this world a better place. You are not a leader if you are driven by self-interest. Until we meet in the next video, please subscribe and please share this information so that we are able to build this community of dreamers and empower one person at a time so that we can become effective as societies, but also a great nation that other nations can look up to. Until the next video, thank you.